Welcome to today's guided practice session. My name is Adam Manis, and I'm very excited to share this concept of the magic voicings with you today. This is one of our most popular concepts here at Open Studio. It's a simple system to build really clean sounding voicings and really, I think, up your comping game. If you don't know this system already, I think you're going to really enjoy how you can comp with melodies, right? You can comp very melodically using this system. And it's because it's based off of what else but the pentatonic scale. Let's look at the two different shapes we're going to use. We're going to use each of these shapes a couple of times in a couple of different ways, but here are the basic shapes we're going to use. One is one that we call the major set. That major set there is over a B-flat 6/9, but that's a little misleading because it can be used over a lot of different things. Now, if you haven't heard of this like magic voicing system or whatever, it's based off of the pentatonic scale. So if you look at this major set, every single one of these 5 voicings here, which is a B-flat 6/9 voicing and what we call the B-flat home voicings, is made up of the B-flat major pentatonic scale. So a B-flat major pentatonic scale is B-flat, C, D, F, and G, right? The root, 2nd, 3rd, 5th, and 6th, right? Someone said earlier today, my girl. You can think about that. So it's the major pentatonic scale. Now, if we take the B-flat here and we go down, because we want to think about this from the top down. We want to be able to make melodies out of this voicing, and we want to be able to comp with melodies melodically. So if we skip a note and go down, we get this B-flat major 6/9 chord. Now, here's where some magic happens. All we have to do now is take each one of these notes up the B-flat major pentatonic scale, and we get a bunch of B-flat major 6/9 chords. And it's how we base this whole system. Now, this voicing set can be, this major set, right, we'll call the B-flat major set, can be used for other chords. But right now, we're just going to think about it as B-flat major 6/9 voicings. Right? The first thing that we can do with these, the other place that we can impose these on, is a G minor 7. I just got asked in the comments, can you explain how to get a minor chord from a home set? That's how. So just like in normal music theory, there's the relative major and minor. It works really, really well with our magic voicing system here. Because as you can see, it's all B-flat major pentatonic, right? Which is also what we could call G minor pentatonic. So not only does it work for B-flat, but if we had a G minor 7, all 5 of these voicings sound great. And again, it's all just the B-flat major pentatonic scale. Now, because of that too, one of the handiest parts about this is look at the top notes. The top notes of these 5 voicings are all just B-flat major pentatonic. So when we're comping, like if you have just a B-flat major 6/9 chord for 4 bars, normally what? You might be like, or maybe you have another one, this one, or maybe, I don't know what you would have. But now you would have all these awesome voicings, no repeated notes. And you can make these melodies with a B-flat major pentatonic scale. Same thing if it's just all G minor. This comes in really handy on modal tunes. So nice to be able to create melodies, and you're not doing that diatonic planing thing, which is a whole other sounds great, where you just move around the scale. You can actually make each chord made up of that pentatonic scale. It's awesome. It's really fun. And check out the Magic Voicing System course here. We're offering it today only, 70% off. That's our Black Friday price. We're extending that just for you today, YouTube. So go check it out. Ian has it here in the comments. The people who are into the course are just loving it, I think, because it's explaining some things that, some easy ways to get really good sounding melodic voicings so that you can comp. You can be the best comper essentially. That's my sales pitch for it. I think it's a great system to be able to comp melodically. Now let's look at the diminished set. The diminished set is so super useful. Again, it's magical and it can be used on so many different kinds of chords. Let's build, before we get into the G7 flat 9, let's build an F diminished chord, right? So F diminished chord, right, is based off of the whole half diminished scale, whole step, half step, whole step, half step, whole step, half step, whole step. So you get F, G, A flat, B flat, B, D flat, D, E, and F, right? That's our F whole half diminished scale. Now we can build a diminished 7 chord by just skipping a note like we do with every other chord. Right? We skip a note of that scale and we get this F diminished 7. Now, what are our leftover notes from the scale? Well, those are G, B flat, D flat, and E. That's a whole other diminished chord. That's a G diminished 7 chord, right? So for an F diminished, the extra notes, or what we call the pretty notes, are all notes based off of the G diminished 7 chords. We can build some super slick voicings off of this. Usually when you hear a beginner piano player or even an intermediate player play a diminished voicing, they'll do something like this. Ugh. Just a bunch of minor thirds stacked on top of each other. But when we could use notes from that second diminished chord, from the diminished chord from a whole step above, we get voicings like this, right? So I have my F diminished. Every note from that F diminished chord, F, A flat, B, and D, I've just spread them out, right? It's a spread voicing now. It's an open voicing is what we call that. And then we add one note in the middle from that second diminished chord, right? From that G diminished 7, we can add our E natural. Now, isn't that beautiful, right? So instead of like, ugh, something like that, you could do something like this. So pretty, right? So here's a diminished voicing. This is an F diminished, right? And that's the first notated there in the diminished set. Now, again, magic voicings, you can use these over multiple chords, and they work especially well over dominant chords with a flat 9. So G, right? Notice here we have F and B, which are the 7th and the 3rd of G7. And then we have the 13, we have the 9, and we have the 5. It's a great G7 flat 9 voicing. And because it's all based on the diminished scale and it's symmetrical or even, I guess you would say, in minor thirds, we can move this up in minor thirds. And it still works as a G7 flat 9. It's a great G7 flat 9 voicing, as is this, right? This is all just the same shape in minor thirds. You have a tritone, you have a perfect fourth, you have a major third, and you have another tritone. You have a tritone, a perfect fourth, you have a major third, and you have a tritone. And so on. Beautiful voicing. So that is not only our F diminished 7, but it is a G7 flat 9. It's also, by the way, a B flat 7 flat 9, a D flat 7 flat 9, and an E7 flat 9. Again, diminished scale is just this cyclical thing that happens in minor thirds. Now, I might have lost some of you, right? We got really in the weeds there with some very nerdy stuff, which I'm all about, you know that. But let's just hear how these things sound in action. I've developed a little bit of an exercise we can do to keep things kind of simple. Key of B flat. We're just going to do a couple of 1, 6, 2, 5 progressions. This is a very common progression in jazz and the Great American Songbook. This is rhythm changes, the first 4 bars of rhythm changes. And this will be a super helpful way of combining these voicings. Before we get too deep into it, let's take a look at what we have. So here we have our first B flat major 6/9 voicing, or B flat major voicing, right? Again, based off of the B flat major pentatonic scale, right? We're just skipping a note from the top down. This is one of the shapes, right? And then we have a G7 flat 9. Now we can use one of our diminished voicings, either from the F or the A flat or the B or the D, right? Any of those in that minor third cycle will work. So this voicing, A flat, D, G, B, and F, is a great G7 flat 9 voicing. By the way, if you're playing something and it says B flat, major 6/9, and then B diminished, you could also play this voicing. It's a B diminished voicing as well, right? Those two things are related. The G7 flat 9 and the B diminished. They're both kind of dominant chords going to that C minor 7. So now we're in our C minor 7. This is what we were talking about at the very beginning when someone was asking, like, how do I make minor 7 voicings? Well, again, relative major and minor is totally in effect here. So the C minor 7, we can use the relative major set from E flat major. So here we have an E flat major 6/9 voicing, right? Starting on E flat, again, E flat major pentatonic scale is what we're basing this off of. Notice that every note in this chord, 5 notes, all 5 are from that E flat major pentatonic scale. So we can make a C minor 7, the relative minor, using that relative major, E flat major pentatonic scale. By the way, if we wanted to, we can move this up, every note up that E flat major pentatonic scale. Right, and it sounds great. I just did a little half step slip. So here, B flat major 7, G7 flat 9, C minor 7. Okay, now F7 flat 9. We know we can use our diminished voicing set. Again, we can build this off of the dominant 7 of F7, like the E flat. We can build it off the flat 9. Right? We know that a G flat diminished or an E flat diminished or a C diminished or an A diminished, they're all the same notes. That'll work. And we know that then we can add a note, right, from the diminished scale, right, that are left out. In this case, it's F diminished is what's our left over for our pretty notes, right? So here we have G flat, C, F, A, and E flat. That's our F7 flat 9. That could be this. That could be this, right? Could be this. So, okay, so there's our F7 flat 9. Then going to B flat major. We'll go back to a B flat major 6/9, B flat major set voicing, right? Again, every note on this voicing from the B flat major pentatonic, right? We got B flat, C, D, F, and G. Again, this is also a so what voicing. Could be a G minor. Could also be, by the way, E flat major 7. It's magic, right? Then we have another G7 flat 9. Again, this is our F diminished, right? If our first one was up here, this is a minor third down. G7 flat 9, then a C minor 7. Again, using that E flat major pentatonic scale or C minor pentatonic scale. And then an F7 is another diminished voicing. So as you notice the changes here, right? We have 1, 6, 2, 5. The 1s and the 2s are all major set voicings, and the 6 and the 5, right, the dominant 7 chords are all diminished set voicings. So we're really just alternating here between the B flat major, that diminished set, the C minor, a different diminished set, right? So the whole thing sounds like this. 1, 2, 3, and. We're just walking our melody down, right? I can do the same note. Very simple. But isn't it great? No repeated notes, no super clashy things. We add a little rhythm to it, and it's bopping. It's a great way to comp. I mean, you will be the best comper, you know. That's not guaranteed. We got to work on a bunch of stuff first. Let's work on a bunch of stuff. Let's play this together. Let's play this as written. These will be quarter notes. Just as written, and then we'll add some rhythm a little bit later. So just 1, 2. You can play here what you see on the graphic. I'll make it a little bigger. Let's make it a little bigger for everybody so you can read it easier. Check that out. Okay, let's try it. Play with me. 1, 2, 3, and. 2, 3, and. Those diminished voicings are so pretty. Let's take it up just a little bit. But hey, before we do, if you like what you see, give this video a like. We need to know what you want to practice. So if you want to practice more stuff like this, hit the like button. All right, let's do it right here. Just as written, we're going to keep very basic at first here, and then we will make it more and more complicated as we go on. Let's try it. 1, 2, 3, and. Just getting these shapes in our hands. It's a nice tempo here. Might be a little fast for some of you, but just keep at it. Let's try it again. 2, 3, and. One more time. 2, 3, and. Beautiful. Isn't that great? Okay, let's make this bounce a little bit. Let's add some rhythm to this. I'm going to keep the quarter note here. We'll keep it very slow, but let's keep it simple. So if you're still kind of struggling to get these shapes, just play it as written. Keep going here. But if you want to add a little bit of bounce to it, start adding rhythms. Right? Like you would comp. Play it with me. I'll give you a bass line. You be Oscar Peterson, and I will be Ray Brown. Or you be Wynton Kelly, and I will be Paul Chambers in my dreams. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, and. Try it again. 3, and. Some nice rhythms there. Let's do it again. 1, 2, 3, and again. One more time. 3, and. Isn't that fun? Those voicings are just so much fun. So we'll leave this video up for you for a while, and we're not done yet though. Because you know me, can't just do one key. We got to do 2 keys. Are you kidding me? We could take this to C. What's great about transposing these, actually, this has a legit great function to transpose these to another key. And that is that you're going to be able to see some of these shapes. Really, hold on. You're going to be able to see some of these shapes. Why can't I move it? Hello? I guess it's just stuck there forever. You're going to be able to see some of these shapes in a way, hopefully, that's a little bit different than what we just did. And it'll lock in the shape in a way that, oh, there we go. In a way that if you just do one key, it won't be locked in as tight. So just transposing here, up a whole step to the key of C. And you could just read this. You don't have to know the theory behind it yet. Right? You can just play it and hear the sound. And just know that we're going between you know, this pentatonic major set and a diminished set and a pentatonic major set, but we're using the relative minor, right? So C major, and then our B flat diminished, and then the F major set, right, with a D minor, using a D minor, and the A flat diminished, also the G7, and so on. Let's try it. As written at first, I'll play with you. 1, 2, 3, and. Let's try it again. 1, 2, 3, and. 2, 3, and. One more time. 2, 3, and. All right, let's add some rhythm to this, but before we do, I'm going to answer any questions you have about the system in the chat here after we practice it. So leave your question here. And if you're watching this later after it's live, go ahead and leave me a question in the comments. If you have a question about this system or how best to practice it or how to apply it, I'm down to help. So please leave me your questions right there in the chat or the comments. And yeah, here we go. Add some rhythm. So again, if I'm playing this, I'm gonna add a little, some gravy to it. You know what I mean? Gotta add some flavor. I'll be the bass player. You be the comper, and have fun. Use these shapes. Add your own rhythm to it. Oh, also, if you're kind of getting these pretty easily, you can slide any of these shapes up and down a half step, up or down a half step. So like. Right? That sounds really hip, actually. Just a little back and forth, either up or down. You can lead to one, and it sounds great. All right. Add your questions in the chat or the comments, and let's get practicing. Here we go. 2, 3, and. Let's keep looping this. You got it. From the top. Add your own rhythm. Pretend you're Wynton Kelly here, and you're just down to swing. That's all you came here to do right now. Last time. Here we go. There you have it, folks. The Magic Voicing System at its best. Again, check out the very special extension of our Black Friday offer. You can save 70% on it today. I don't think that's right, Ian. But Ian is going to put the link in there in the chat. So take advantage of that because it will not be any cheaper than that. And again, leave your questions here in the comments or the chat. If you liked the Magic Voicing System and you want to see more things like this, smash that like button and let me know that this is the content you want to see. Thanks very much. Let's hit these questions. Bruce says, Adam, is this material included in the course? Yes, it is. We go over several different tunes, Bruce, using these voicings, and we work them through in different keys, and we just try to really take an approach where you're going to digest them, in a way that's useful towards you. Blas says, can we use this type of technique in a solo, or is it just comping technique? No, you can totally use it in a solo. It works really well because you can play melodically. Like I was saying, if you're doing, you could do it in any kind of tune. You can solo. You can just add little things there with the chords, but especially in like modal tunes, like if you have C minor here and we use our E flat major set. And again, if we can slip and slide a half step up or down, you can totally solo with these chords. I mean, that pentatonic scale makes playing melodies and improvising melodies for your solo super easy. Great stuff. Mojo of the G asks, how did you achieve fluency with this voicing system? This is a great question. So I am partially fluent in this voicing system. I've been working on this for a couple of years, and it just takes time. Like any voicings, right? Like if you were to do drop 2 or block chords, it's not like you're going to spend a week on it and you're going to be good to go, or even a month. Like it just takes kind of coming back to it. I'm really good in maybe like 8 keys. Like I'm really solid. I can do it at will in any tune in 8 keys. But if I get into like the key of, A or E or something, it might be a little bit more challenging for me. I might have to think about it. It won't be just as knee jerk. So like anything else, it just takes, this is a system that I want in my playing, for the rest of my life. Like I love these chords. I love how I can make melodies with them. And I think it's a little different, right? And so I really want to, I'm committed to like just keeping it in my practice routine. So I'll just come back to it every so often, practice it in an A, in the key of A. I'll do rhythm changes in A using these voicings, trying to get all the diminished set, all the major sets or whatever in my, and there's a dominant set, there's altered dominant sets. That's all in the course too. So yeah, it's just like anything else. Like it's like, if you want to master playing out or playing with pentatonics, it's not like you just do that for a month and then you're good to go. It's like you're always kind of pushing yourself for new sounds, right? And this is a sound that, I might never master every single shape and every single chord or whatever, but since spending some significant time on it and committing myself to it, it's come through in my playing quite easily. And you just, you work on it slowly, right? Just like we were doing today, you just take it slow, get the shapes. Eventually you just are able to do it without thinking about it. That's the key here. Thank you, Herman. Appreciate it. Let's see if there's any more questions. Leave your questions here if you have any questions. I think I answered Mojo's minor 7. Cool. All right. Mojo says, is this a Bill Evans technique? Bill Evans certainly played some of these shapes, obviously the so what voicings. But I don't think he did this specific, technique, like the way that we kind of pattern it off of the pentatonic scale and are able to make sets. I'm sure he played every single one of these shapes at some point, but I don't know I'm not sure if he thought about it like this. These sound great on a blues. In fact, there's a blues in the course on the Magic Voicing System course. I believe there is a blues, and there's a whole dominant set that we made for this that is really cool. Sounds really good. Nicole, I'll go into the dominant set. Maybe I'll do a guided practice session next week where because it's kind of a explanation, right? So it might take a little too much time than we have here. So I'll go in on that a little more thoroughly. Maybe next week I'll do a guided practice session here on YouTube where we can get into the dominant set. I think you'll dig it. We'll do a blues. Yeah? Sound good? Thanks, Rich. What's up, Jeff Clapp? What's going on, man? Good to see you. Kind of. Last time I saw Jeff Clapp, he was slicing and dicing me on the tennis court. All right, y'all. I do not practice with Mr. Sunny Bass. I'm not sure who that is or what that is. Is that a software or something? All right, Nicole. Yeah, Nicole, keep your eyes open next week. We'll do one maybe Tuesday. We'll do one with the dominant set. Oh yeah, Mitch is using it on Dindy. That's right. Cool. Right on, everybody. Well, if there's no more questions, all right. Thanks, Mojo. I will bid you good day. Thanks, everybody. Great practicing with you today, as always. Again, if this is your kind of content, don't forget to hit the like button. And again, 24 hours for the extension of the Black Friday price on the Magic Voicings course specifically. If you don't have it, take advantage of that. Cool. Later, guys. Happy practicing, everybody. See you. Thank you. Oh, Peter Martin's talking trash. Clap. That's funny. Later, everybody. Take care. See you.